They say China is trying to colonize Africa under disguise of economic cooperation. So what do you see as real neocolonialism?
Well, that kind of explanation is difficult to understand. Well, first of all, China has not dropped bombs on any territories anywhere in the world in the effort to steal the resources of those territories. China has not done that. China's attitude has been genuine friendship with the African people, and indeed with all the peoples all over the world. In our most difficult periods, we counted on China. We stood shoulder to shoulder with China in combating racism, even in its worst form of apartheid.
Yeah.
The National Liberation Movement in Africa enjoyed considerable support from China and so on. So China is a friend. China is a brother. And China's understanding of Africa is not based on a hierarchical structure of masters and servants. It's based on a structure of mutual friendship and the development of the entire world for the prosperity of all the peoples of the world.
You know, whenever I hear someone says that the Chinese are our friend or China is our friend, I really laugh out loud at that person, because what comes into my mind is, how stupid can you be? How naive can you be to think that China is a friend of Africa? How stupid can you be? I have said this on this show countless times. China is a good partner for business and development of Africa. But for people to think that China is a friend, they must be mistaken. China is not your friend. Why would China ever be your friend? China is in Africa because China knows what China will gain from Africa. And that is why they are in Africa. They are not there to become your friends. Why would they become your friends? They are not there to be, there's nothing for them to gain through friendship. Friendship wouldn't make them prosperous. Friendship wouldn't get them all the raw minerals they need. But partnering with Africa will get them that mineral. Doing business in Africa will ensure that their goods and services could be sold in Africa and vice versa. That's just a good business practice, which I'm all in for. I am all for it. If China wants to do business in Africa, I'm so glad about that, because China is a more faithful partner to Africa than the West has ever been. That is what I believe. But the fact that people would think that China is a friend, that's where I totally disagree, because I think there is nothing like friendship between two nations. It doesn't exist. There is just what we call mutual interest and benefit. What do they want from us? And what do we want from them? What are we willing to give to them to get what we want from them? That's just as simple as that. Mutual benefit. They are not our friends. And the second point the guy made is that China hasn't bombed any place in Africa. Yes, that's true. China hasn't done that, at least for now. We do not know how the next 50 years, 100 years from now will look like. America didn't just start bombing countries. They built their economy. They created their institutions that defend them. They spread their ideology of democracy being the best system in the world. They did all that first before they start bombing nations. So China is using the economy to also win the minds of the people. Now, their ideology might just be everyone should make money, everyone should become successful, as China has done. Now, China has I think, 3 overseas bases just now, right? And remember, China is still a developing nation. China is still rising. So maybe 100 years from today, China must have been up here. We don't know what they will do. And that is my point. When nations become successful, when they become rich, they start stretching out their muscles. They start conquering other nations. They start looking for other people to control. They start looking for where they can get stuff for as cheap as possible or for free. That is just what they do. So what I think we Africans ought to do is brace ourselves, is to learn from history, is to understand that there is no free lunch, that everything is attached to everything. You might think that China is in Africa because they love Africa. They love Africans. My bro, it's a big lie. China is not in Africa because they love Africa. And you might think that China is helping Africa to fight racism. I wonder if you've been to China. Well, I'm not saying all Chinese people are racist. I'm just saying that some people in China have a very negative impression about Africa. And the whole story in China, it's not like Africa and China are working together. It's like China is helping Africa. That is the narrative you hear in China. I have been to China and I have heard this from people I know because they have heard it from their media outlets and news sources. All they talk about is how China is helping Africa. China is giving aid to Africa. China is donating this to Africa. Not that Africa and China are working together, no. And the last point before I end this video, listen to me and listen carefully. There is never such a thing as equal partner or equal in status when someone is giving you almost every single thing you need. Africa and China are not equals. Let nobody fool you. Now, the Chinese might echo that just to try to boost the morale of the Africans. But you guys should not be deceived by those words. China, Africa, they are not equal. China is the one giving Africa almost everything. So how can they be equal? How can they be equal? If you have a friend who feeds you, who clothes you, who houses you, who gives you even pocket money when you are broke, can you come out and say you and that friend are equal? No, you cannot do that because you or him or her are not equal and will never be equal because he or she is the one providing almost every single thing for you. It's never an equal relationship. Never, ever. But you guys out there, what is your take on the relationship between China and Africa? Do you think it's a balanced relationship? Are they equal? And also, do you think that Africa is winning as much as China is winning? Let us know in the comment section below because like always, we love hearing what you have to say. And also, please don't forget to like this video, share this video, follow our Facebook page, and most importantly, subscribe to this channel because little bit of good way, like the one you're doing just now, help us a lot. I shall forever be grateful to you. So thank you very much for doing just that. And like always, see you in the next one.